my central experience of arriving in Venice is to enter a kind of dream state and sooner or later getting lost. And it's a rather delicious feeling because you do not ever feel in any kind of danger. And I had it last night trying to find a friend's house way beyond the Rialto Bridge. And sooner or later, my wife said the words that we always hear when we're getting lost. We'd just been here 20 minutes ago. That dreamlike. So for all the impact of modern tourism, Venice still retains this dreamlike quality that nothing can shift.
You set one of your first novels in Venice many years ago, and you were here. You told me to be inspired by the city. Do you find that Venice has changed much since then?
There are more people, but actually, and some of the buildings are a lot smarter than they were. The streets are cleaner than any city I know in Britain. The places, I mean, today we walked all around the Guideccia and it just seemed like immaculate, as if 1,000 million gallons of water had just flown through it and washed it clean. But no, I don't find it much changed. And I think that sort of enduring quality of Venice is what's drawn writers here. It always feels like it's about to die. It always feels like, so I was in a little boat last night down some tiny canal, and that's a kind of decadent, sweet stench of death and its beauty all at once is hypnotic. I mean, I think that's why Dickens and Thomas Mann and so many, Bob Coover, many writers have been drawn to this strange melange of mortality and extreme beauty.
But this feeling of dying at any time, which has been there for centuries,
Exactly.
Is it just a feeling, or do you feel that there is something more to it? I mean, there is a real threat to the city.
Well, just because it's been happening for many centuries doesn't mean to say it isn't suddenly going to accelerate, because we do have rising sea levels. I mean, that's well established now. They are now rising at rates faster than was predicted. And I noticed that lots of shops are selling boots, and the pavements have been raised for the spring floods. But I remember back in the 60s when Venice was in peril, the big flood then, and it seemed, the rush was to save Venice before it died, and then suddenly it was there again. But it is possible. It is possible that it could just sink below the waves.
So that Venice is in peril, but permanently in peril.
It seems permanent. The only way it's not going to be in peril is when it's so far under the water that it's too far for anyone to rescue.
Talking of peril and difficulties and the climate change and so on, the character of your latest book overhears about all these things from podcasts when in his mother's womb.
Yes.
What can you tell us about your character, that character? It's an uncommon character. It's a non-born character.
It's my youngest character so far. He's a fetus who is just 2 weeks from being born. And although that would seem very confining in literal terms and in terms of what could be said, he was actually a kind of an existential hero for me who could reflect on everything in life because he can hear radios, he can hear podcasts, he overhears conversations. He has a very intimate relationship to his mother's sex life. And also he can interpret her emotions very closely. By choosing, as it were, a nutshell, I did find myself with infinite space to explore the modern world and to rewrite, to some extent, the plot of Hamlet, and also just to take a holiday from realism.
Talking of Hamlet, the epigraph to your book as a quotation from Hamlet.
Yes,
Ending with the word dream. So is your novel a dream or
No,
a
it's
bad
not a dream. No, it's not a dream. It's not even a bad dream. Although it is quite a bad dream. But I mean, the epigraph is, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself king of infinite space were it not for my bad dreams. And this is Hamlet reflecting on his own situation, speaking to Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But no, I maintain a degree of respect still for realism, so that the world he reflects on is the one he's about to join. He does wonder sometimes if there is life after birth. It has a sort of semi-religious satire in it, but he's pretty sure that there is life after birth. And the world he's going to join is more or less the world of 2015, 2016. And he's aware of all the problems that we worry about now, except, you know, we didn't have Donald Trump, and we didn't have, for Britain, we didn't have Brexit, but still many of the other issues that perplex us about our modern condition are what's on his mind.
Do you think your character will travel to Venice at some point?
Oh, definitely. He'd be just the right person for Venice. He would love to get lost here with me. Yes. In a sense, I mean, he does anticipate joining a decaying world, but at the same time, he's a bit suspicious of cultural pessimism. And he is aware that if you took other indicators of the human condition, you could be very optimistic. Literacy, falling rates of poverty, the number of people rescued from malaria since the year 2000, longevity, and so on. I mean, these are measurable ways we could describe human happiness. In fact, there are many ways in which you could say that we've never enjoyed material comfort, anesthetics and all the rest. And none of us would like to return to the late 16th century.
No nostalgia for the past.
Not if you have to go to the dentist.
I agree. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.